Hello and welcome to Migoyugo. If you are hanging out, waiting for the games to start, they are here. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we're going to give it a try anyway. We did this yesterday. We had a few people, and it will be interesting to see if we get a few more today. So, welcome to Migoyugo, and I am just trying to find out right now if I have anybody who is here. I can't see anyone just yet, but bear with me and let's see if we can get this to work. We're about 2 minutes early, but I thought I would just start a little bit early anyway and see if we are going to pick up a few people. Yesterday we had at the five people, and I just thought I'd see if we get a few more today. Do we have anyone here? I don't know, but I'll know in just a second. If you are here and you are interested in playing Migoyugo, then let me know. Just type something into chat. And if you have played before, I'm happy to play with you. If you haven't played before, I'm still happy to play with you. All you have to do is either just play as a guest, or you can sign in, and it's really very, very simple. What I'm going to do is how to show you how you can play. Um, and let's go here first of all. And so if you take a look at the screen, you can see we have the players over here. And if you click on that, you'll see how many players are actually logged into the game. These are people who have signed up, they've created a username and a password, they're keeping their stats, and pretty much a grand total of 6 players. So if you would like to be one of those, all you have to do is basically just sign in and create a username and a password. Then, if you are logged in, then you will show up as green. So we have 6 people, none of whom are logged in right now. And if any of these were green, then what I could do is I could click on any of them. For example, I'm going to click on less than pi, and it says the player is not online. If the player was online, I would be able to click on that person and challenge that person to a game. So I see we have a couple of people watching. Welcome to Migoyugo. My name is the Nightfly, and I invented this game. And if you are interested in learning a new game, then welcome. And if you would like to play, all you have to do is just let me know. You can type something in chat. I'm just going to type hi into chat. If you want to respond, you're welcome to do so either in chat or you can challenge me to a game. So, how do you play Migoyugo? Well, let's start with that. I'm going to go here to the tutorial, and it says basic gameplay. So let's just go through the tutorial. It's really simple. I assure you, this is one of the easiest games that you will ever see. It says Migoyugo is played on an 8x8 board. Players alternate turns. White moves first, then black, placing pieces called Migos on empty squares. So in this tutorial, you can see we've got an 8x8 board, and white and black and white and black. So they're taking turns placing their pieces on the board. And those pieces are called Migos. The game is Migoyugo. So the piece that you use, whether you're white or black, is called a Migo. So let's move to the next part of this tutorial. And what you want to do is build a Yugo. So you place Migos on the board and you're trying to build a Yugo. So your first tactical step is to create a Yugo. A Yugo is created when you build an unbroken line of exactly 4 pieces of your own color, horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. So when a Yugo is created, it is identified with a red mark in the middle of the piece. So a Migo is a white or a black disc. A Yugo is the same thing, but it has a red mark in the center of the disc. At that same moment, when you create the Yugo, all of the Migos in the line of 4 disappear. while any Yugos already in that line, they remain because Yugos can never be moved or removed from the board. So let's take a look at this example. White, then black, then white, then black. So white's got 3 Migos in a row. If it plays a fourth, that turns into a Yugo, which is a white piece with a red dot. Okay, so let's look again. So you've got 3 Migos in a row, 3 whites. You place a fourth piece in a row, that creates a Yugo, and the other 3 Migos disappear. So we've got Amigo, 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 and then the fourth piece becomes a Yugo, and the 3 Migos disappear. So that's the interesting thing about this game. The board changes all the time because spaces that were occupied now suddenly are vacant because those Migos have disappeared. So let's move on to the next. And there's one important rule. You can't create a line of longer than 4 pieces of your own color, whether they're Migos or Yugos, doesn't matter. So at no time may either player create a line of more than 4 in a row of any combination of Migos and or Yugos of the same color. So you could have more than 4 if it's a combination of black and white, but in this case we have 2 on either side and an empty space in the middle. So we have 2 Migos on the left, we have an empty space, 2 Migos on the right. You can't place a Migo in that space because that would create a line of 5. You can't have a line of more than 4. So let's move on to the next rule. And how do you win the game? In Migoyugo, there's 2 different ways to win, but the main objective is to create what's called an IGO. Win by forming an IGO, which is an unbroken line of 4 Yugos of one color, and that's horizontal, vertical, or diagonal. So remember, if you get 4 pieces in a row, Migos, or a combination of Migos and Yugos, the fourth piece placed becomes a Yugo. But if you create a line of 4 Yugos in a row, so I have 3 here, there's a space in between. If I put a fourth piece there, that becomes a Yugo, which automatically wins the game because I now have 4 Yugos in a row. That's called an IGO. So if at any time either player is unable to play a legal move or all 64 squares are covered. So you wouldn't be able to play a legal move if the only move you have available or the only empty square would make a line of 5 or more of your own color. So that wouldn't be legal. So if that happens, the game ends with a Wigo, and the player with the most Yugos wins. So that's why we have the Yugo count. If we close this, you can see at the top we have white, 0 Yugos, black, 0 Yugos. So that's why we count the Yugos during the game, because it's possible no one's going to win with an IGO, in which case we go to the end of the game, nobody can play because all 64 squares are filled, or there's no more legal moves. And at that point, we simply say who has the most Yugos. So it's important to get as many Yugos as you can as well. Even if they don't form an IGO, you can still win. If both players have the same number of Yugos, the game is drawn by Wigo. And we have a timer on the game, 10 minutes. If you're playing and your timer runs out, you lose the game, your opponent wins. And you can resign at any time if you think you're done. You don't think there's any chance you're going to win. You can press the resign button and your opponent will win the game. How to start a multiplayer game? Well, I'll show you that. Okay. So if we go over here to players, we can see we have, look at this, we have 6 players and Puppers is online. Okay, so I can see that Puppers is logged in. Puppers is green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Puppers. If I click on this Oana 2025, it shows that the player is not online. So I can't challenge this person, they're not online. But Puppers is online. So if I click on Puppers, we have challenge Puppers to a game, or I can block that user. If that person is challenging me and I don't want to play against them and they keep on challenging me and I say, I don't want them to do that anymore, I can just block that person. But I'm going to challenge Puppers to a game. So I've challenged Puppers and it says waiting for Puppers to accept the challenge. And it says game start. You are playing as black. So I'm black and you can see Puppers is up here. Puppers is white. Puppers has played a move. So right now, I am playing a live game against Puppers, and your name, in this case, me, the Nightfly, my name is down here, and your name is always going to be on the bottom. So right now, the Yugo count is equal. We both have 0. So Puppers has played Amigo on C4. I'm going to play Amigo over here on F5. Okay, so we can see we've got a grid A1 to H1 along the bottom, and we've got columns 1 through 8, bottom to top. So Poppers is played here. I'm going to block that. Okay, remember, you need 4 of your pieces in a row to create a Yugo. And I am going to put another piece here. Now I've got 3 in a row. And Poppers didn't block. Okay, so I can play a piece here. I can play a Migo on C2 or on G6. And if I play on either of those 2 spaces, I will create a line of 4. And that 4th piece will become a Yugo. And these 3 Migos will disappear. However, I don't want to do that just yet because you can see that Poppers also has 3 in a row. If he puts one here on A1 or on E5, he will create a Yugo. But I want to block his Yugo because central Yugos are more powerful than Yugos that are off to the side. So I would rather have Poppers have a Yugo down here in the corner where it's really not that useful as opposed to in the middle. So I'm going to block him first. And then on my next move, I'm going to create a Yugo. So I know I talk a lot, but if you've never seen the game, I think it's interesting to learn by watching, but also as I explain it. So Poppers now has 3 in a row here. I blocked his 3 in a row here, but he can make a Yugo here, or he can make a Yugo here. This is more central. So C6 is more central than C2. So again, I'm going to block. I'm going to put Amigo here. If he wants to place Amigo here and create a Yugo, he can do that, and these 3 will disappear. But I would prefer he has Amigo that is a little bit less central. But let's see what he does. Paper's dog says howdy in chat. Hello, Poppers. Okay, so if you take a look here, I can place Amigo on G6 and make a Yugo, or I can play on C2. These are almost exactly the same as far as how far they are from the center. Remember, central Yugos are more valuable. So I'm going to play up here. So as you can see, I put a Migo, or I put a piece on G6. It created a Yugo, and these 3 Migos disappeared. Meanwhile, Puppers is building a brick wall over here of white Migos. He's building up for something. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to lead to, but I'm going to let him do his thing for now. But I'm going to block this direction. Okay. Now, this isn't great for me because I can't make a line of more than 4. So I'm kind of messing myself up by doing that, but we'll see what happens. So again, he hasn't created a Yugo yet. He could have. He could have created 2 or 3 Yugos by now, but what he's doing is he's building up, and maybe that's a strategy that he believes is valuable and is going to win. But I'm going to place my Migo here because if he creates a line and these 3 Migos disappear, then I'm going to be able to create a Yugo here, and these Migos will disappear. He's still building up. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. Where else do I want to go? You know what? I'm going to go here. Let's see what Puppers does. Remember, every time you create a Yugo, the Migos that were in that line disappear. So space that was once taken up, spaces that were occupied suddenly become unoccupied and usable. So he created a Yugo down here. These 3 Migos disappeared. But I have a space here where if I place my Migo here, I create a Yugo and these 3 disappear. So basically at this point, I'm kind of taking up the top part of the board and Puppers is taking over the bottom part of the board. We'll see where this leads. Okay, I played Puppers a couple of times yesterday. I beat him yesterday a couple of times, and then he beat me a couple of times. There were some pretty good games. So I know Puppers knows what he's doing, but let's see if he can beat me today. This is the first game of the day, and we are going to see. So he blocked. Good move. And I'm going to play down here. So he has one Yugo, I have two, and you can keep track right there. Yugo's two, Yugo's one. All right, now, um, remember, Yugos can never be moved, so I feel confident about the Yugos that I have on the board. I'm going to play here. Now, I've got a couple of choices. I can either play on G3 and make a Yugo here, and these two Migos disappear, or I can play here on C7, and I have two Yugos in a row, and these two Migos will disappear. But I'm going to play down here just because I feel that it gives me a better chance to connect my Yugos. Now, if Puppers plays down here, he's going to create a double Yugo. Okay, it is possible to do so. And you know what? Do I want him to do that? Let's see what he does. I better stop talking. He's got 2 minutes more on his clock than I have. So um, I don't want to talk my way into a loss here on time. Okay, so take a look at what he's done. He played, I'm going to hit review, and you can always go back and you can see the last move. So he had one, two, three Migos. He played one here, and in doing so, this became a Yugo, and these three Migos disappeared, just like that. So I'm going to exit the review. I've now got two ways to make a Yugo. I can make one here with this diagonal line, or I can make one here with this horizontal line. I am going to, hmm, hmm. Yeah, I'm going to play down here. Let's see what he does. He has to block. If he doesn't block, I win the game. So he has to block. And he's smart enough to know that. Okay, so he's blocked. If he hadn't blocked, I would have played a piece there and it would have been an instant win. But now I think I'm in the driver's seat here. Okay. I'm going to play, I'm going to play. Do I want to create another Yugo right now? Yeah. You know what? Let's do that. I'm going to create another Yugo. He has to play here and block. Okay. Now he's getting himself into trouble because once your opponent has two or especially three Yugos in a row, it's really, really tough to keep on blocking and keep on preventing your opponent from doing what they want to do. But let's see what he does because he's still got lots of space over here. This is his part of the world over here. Um, so I am going to I am going to start picking up a little bit of space myself here. Now he's got to be really careful. He cannot play here. He cannot play here because if he does, these Migos will disappear. And these Migos are the only thing that are blocking. Now he's played here. This is an interesting position. If I don't play and block, he will win on the next move. So I'm going to play right here. He can play here and then I'm going to block. But if I hadn't done that, he would have won the game. And I'll show you at the end of this how he would have won. Less than pi. Hey, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you. And you know what? Let's go here. We've got a few people watching the game. Puppers and Less Than Pi. Welcome to you guys. So he's blocked. And what am I going to do? He can't play here. This is interesting. Look at this. He has 1, 2, and an empty space. He cannot play there. I'm going to take advantage of that. Okay. I am going to take advantage of that by, you know what? I'm going to go here. He cannot play in that spot. Unless one of these Migos disappeared, he cannot do it. So I'm going to see if I can take advantage of that. Once again, I've got three Yugos in a row, three Yugos in a row. Okay, now, um, you know what? I'm going to take that. He has to play there. Okay, I'm running out of time here. What's going on? I would let him have that if he wanted it. And you know what? I'm going to play away. I'm going to play away a little bit. See what happens. I got 2.5 minutes left. I better shut up. Um, for anyone who's ever met me, you know that's probably impossible, but I've got to play faster, is my point. And let's see what he does. He's in trouble if he starts playing there. You know what? I might as well just block him over here on the next move. But let's see what he's going to do. Okay, well, I got to block that anyway. He finally took that. I probably should have blocked it earlier. So now I'm in the same spot as him. That black piece of mine, that Migo, can't be removed or he'll win the game. But right now I have 7 Yugos. He has 5. Is someone going to be able to create an IGO in this game, or are we going to go to a WeGo? Are we going to go to the point where the board fills up, there's no more legal moves, and we'll have to go to a Yugo count? I don't know, but I'm interested to find out. And he's got to be really careful now. There are a lot of places that he cannot play. And if he does play there, he will lose the game instantly. So I'm just going to start taking up space because if he plays here, he loses. If he plays here, he loses. Um, I'm going to see if I can put him into a position where he's basically stuck. He has to play somewhere that is going to harm him. I'm going to block that. I want him to play on b4. If he plays on b4, he loses. If he plays on e7, he loses. So let's see what he's going to do. He's playing down there. I'm going to block it. So this is a part of the game which I guarantee you for Poppers is going to get really frustrating because he's going to soon realize that I am just going to start blocking spaces. Okay. I am simply going to block and I'm going to take away his options. I've got 7 Yugos. He has 5. If we get to the point where we fill this board up or no one has any legal moves, I'm going to win the game because I have more Yugos than he does. So let's see where he goes next. But I think he is soon going to discover that he might be in a bad spot. Um, where am I going to play? I'll play here. So you can lose the game when your opponent gets an IGO, 4 Yugos in a row. You can lose the game if the game doesn't go to a win with an IGO. If we run out of space or if there's no legal moves, that's called a WeGo, which could end in a tie. Or if someone, oh my goodness, I just put a spot amigo here. Okay, so he is going to start getting a little frantic here, and I think he's going to realize he's going to run out of time. So maybe maybe he wants to see if he can get me to run out of time. He's playing faster now. Yes, less than pi says it's a tough position for white, and you realize that at some point. You realize I'm in a bad spot now. He can't play here. He cannot play in this spot because that would make a line of more than 4. So I'm just gonna see if I can go to a WeGo because this is part of the game. This is a strategy. When you get to the point where you realize I can't make any more Yugos without harming myself, or he's blocking me, um, but at the same time, like I could make a Yugo right here, but I'm not going to. I am just going to see if I can take this game to a WeGo, and you'll see what I mean. We're running out of space. It's very difficult. So he can't play there. So I'm going to play there. He cannot play in this spot because that would make a line of 5 in actually 2 different directions. So I am going to show no mercy and I'm going to see if I can just grind this game out with a Wego. That's all I'm attempting to do right now. I'm not going to play here because that would create a Yugo for me. If I play here, that creates a Yugo. So I can play there, and I'm going to play here. And I think he sees the writing on the wall. And I'm going to play here. He plays there. Now watch this. I can play here and the game will end because it'll be his turn and he cannot play here. So when I play here, the game ends. There's a Wego. No legal moves remain. Nightfly wins. 7 Yugos to 5. There's a win for the good guy. And if he wants to rematch, he can just press on his side, request rematch. Or if I wanted to have a match against him, then I could say request rematch. And just so you know, the game is ended. If I go into my stats, take a look at this. I have a Wego. I played as black. It'll show here. I played puppers at 3:23 p.m. on December 14th. It shows all the moves in the game. And so I can relive the glory of that win. And let's see, who do we have? So Puppers is here. So Less Than Pi is in chat, but he's not logged in. So yeah, Less Than Pi, why don't you jump in and you can challenge me. So at the end of the game, you can just hit reset and those pieces will disappear. And maybe we'll look at that game afterward. Maybe I'll make a video about that game. Um, and if I go back to players, so Puppers is still logged in. So Puppers, Less Than Pi is here. If he wants to play a game against me, then by all means, Less Than Pi, jump in. Do you remember? You said I think you told me you forgot your login. Did you forget your login? Are you able to log in, Less Than Pi? He is still not logged in. Player is not online. I can see he's in the chat here on YouTube, but he's not logged in. So just so you know, I've set this up so members can only play members. Um, and guests can only play guests because as a member, you keep your stats, you keep your score, you can log your games, you get all your game history. Guests don't, so you have to sign in, um, and so um, Less Than Pi has forgotten. Less Than Pi has forgotten. Um, what did you forget? Your password? Because I'm not able to retrieve a password. That's not something I can help with. Oh, password reset is not set up yet. Okay, so password reset is not set up. So just so you know, I'm going to go over here. We have a Discord server, and um, in Discord, in Discord, I'm just going to show you this. I don't know if this is really showing up. It probably isn't. But in Discord, you can go to bug reports, and in bug reports, um, you can leave me a note saying that we don't have the password reset set up. I thought I did at one point, but unfortunately, this is a one-man show, and I'm not able to do that at this moment. So um, so what I'm going to do is I am going to say, well, we had a few other people watching here. Um, are you able to find your password, Less Than Pi? Listen, let's try Puppers. I'm going to challenge you to a game. I am going to challenge you to a game, and I'm playing as black. So Puppers goes first. Okay, so after this game, less than pi, if you can't find your password, I'll play you as a guest, okay? And like I said, if you want to play a game against anybody, me or anybody else, you don't have to sign up. You don't have to log in. You don't have to use a email address. You can just play as a guest. But just so you know, if you're playing as a guest, you can only play another guest and your stats will not be tracked because as soon as you log out, you disappear. As a guest, you're just a random, um, kind of like an NPC at that point, and your game just disappears. So if you're playing as a guest, you can only play against another guest. If you're playing as a member, you can only play against another member. But remember, members' games and information, they're all tracked. And so I've done that so that there's a value to being a member. I would much prefer people sign up and log in as members, and that way I can keep track of what's going on. We can get statistics, and then at some point, now this is only the second live stream we've ever done. Right now we have a grand total of 4 or 5 people watching. At some point, if we can get up to like maybe 100 members, then what I would like to do is maybe create a system where we can have a single knockout or perhaps a double knockout tournament. And I think people might enjoy tournament play. Um, and if you would like to play a tournament, then bring a friend. Absolutely, we need more players, we need more people, and I would really appreciate it if you're watching this and you would like to play the game or you like the game, you enjoy the game, please, please tell a friend or 10 about the game because the more people we have playing the game, the more enjoyable I think the game is going to be because then you can play against others. And again, all you have to do is go to players and then you can see who the players are. And if someone is logged in, you can challenge that person to a game anytime. And if you're not logged in, you can still play games against someone else. You're just going to be playing as a guest instead of as, hmm, do I want to play here? If I go here, he goes there, I go there, and he wins the game. No, I don't think I want to do that. You know what? Oh man, this is going to be tough. No, I'm going to leave that alone. I was just contemplating life there for a moment, wondering what move I should make. And I've decided that at the moment, playing e6 is probably not in my best interest. But we'll see. We shall see. Now, do I want to play here? Yeah, why not? Let's get another Yugo. I won the last game with Yugo count. So maybe having more Yugos is going to win this game for me too. But I would rather win with an IGO. It's much more exciting to have an instant win with an IGO, and we'll see. We will see. You know what? Let's go here. But I know Puppers is a good player. I played him yesterday. He beat me a couple of games. He knows what he's doing. I've got to be very careful because I know that there's a good chance he could be hiding in the weeds with some sort of tactic that I'm not aware of, ready to crush me like a bug, like a tiny little insignificant insect under the sole of his shoe. But I guess time will tell. So you can always see the last move played, by the way, because the move is highlighted in green. If you go, well, whose turn is it? Just look at the board. Whatever move is highlighted in green, in this case, it's a white piece, and I know Puppers is white, so he moved, and it's my turn. So where do I want to go? He can, he can go here. You know what? What do I want to do? I'm going to let him do it. I'm going to let him do it. If he wants to create a Yugo in this direction, I think I'm going to let him do it. I think that was a good move there, puppers. If you don't do that, I'm pretty sure you're going to lose the game. So I'm ahead 5 Yugos to 3. Not important right now, but as you saw in the last game, as the board fills up, it's very possible that you could lose the game. You could lose the game with having a lower Yugo count, with a Wigo. That's what we call it when there's no legal moves or the board is completely filled. The game ends with a Wigo. So the single piece is called a Migo. The piece with the red mark is called a Yugo. If you get 4 of those Yugos in a row, that's called an Igo, and you win instantly. And if no one can win with an Igo, we go to the Yugo count, which is called a Wigo. So I could win in this direction. He needs to block there. He could go there, but he knows he's going to lose the center. So I am going to move over here a little bit. Central control is valuable. If you're at all familiar with chess, center control is valuable in the game of chess. It's also valuable in this game, but in a different way, because Migos, these pieces that don't have the red dot, these probably are going to disappear from the board at some point. So having Migos in the middle of the board, it's really not all that valuable because once they disappear, the space is open. But having a Yugo in the center of the board, I've got a couple here. Those are valuable because they can never be removed from the board. They can never be moved. So having a Yugo centrally located generally is more valuable than having a centrally located Migo, because Migos can disappear and they probably will disappear. Let's see what's going on here. You know what? I'm going to keep on. So if I let that go and he goes here, I'm going to have to block it. I'm going to block it now. I do not want him to have 3 Yugos in a row here. I just don't want to see it. So I'm blocking that now. And this game is is tough because you've got to keep an eye on a lot of things at the same time. And right now, this piece here on F4, if it disappears, like for example, if Puppers plays on C1 and creates a Yugo, these 2 Migos are going to disappear. That Migo disappears, I play, it's game over. I create an Igo. So Puppers has to remember he cannot play on C1. He cannot remove that piece. Okay, so from now to the end of this game, he's got to keep that in his head. But where else has he got to be careful? Well, he knows he's got 2 Yugos in a row. He wants to create another one here. But if he puts a piece here and creates it, that Migo is going to disappear, and I'm going to jump in there and I'm going to create my own Yugo. I'm actually going to create a double. And I know he doesn't want that. But he's going to remember that. I don't know. The game is very complex. Strangely enough, it's more complex at the start of the game. Okay, so he did do that. He did do that. Now watch what is going to happen here. I am going to play here, which is going to do 3 things at once. Number one, it's going to create a Yugo here, which is going to block these 3 Yugos. Okay, I have to do it. Second thing is it's going to create a line of 4 diagonally this way. It's going to create a line of 4 horizontally. So what's going to happen? It's going to be a double Yugo. And a double Yugo looks different. It's going to have a red oval instead of a red round dot. So let's do this and watch what happens. 1, 2, 3 Migos, 4 Migos, 5 Migos are going to disappear from the board. Just like that. All of a sudden, the complexion of the board has changed completely. There's all this extra room that wasn't there before. That's the complexity of this game, is that game mechanic or mechanism where when you create a Yugo, your Migos disappear. It's not like It's not like your opponent is capturing your pieces and your opponent decides when your pieces come off the board. No, you decide when your pieces come off the board. Okay, so he's created a Yugo here. The whole game has changed. I've got to recalibrate my thinking here. I do not like what's going on over here. I do not like what I'm seeing. I do not like green eggs and ham. Do I want to play here or here? I definitely want to block. Do I want to block here or possibly here? I don't want him to have these three in a row. So I'm going to block here or am I going to block here? If I block here, he's going to go here almost certainly. And then I'm going to block there. If I block here, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to block there because the fact is I don't know really what to do. Okay, we've had as many as 5 people watching the live stream. We're down to 2. That's less than Pie and Puppers, I'm guessing. But you know what? This is only the second time we've done a live stream. I'm just happy to have somebody here playing. I hope you're having fun. Okay, I've got to be really careful here. He's got 3 pieces in a row. If I don't block this, I'm going to lose the game. Guaranteed. If I go here, then he can still create a Yugo here. But if I go here on F7, watch. He can place a piece here. That Migo will disappear. He'll have 3 Yugos in a row with an open space at either end. I cannot permit that. So I either have to go here or here. And in one of those, I lose the game. So I am not going to play on F7. I have to play on B3 or I lose. Now we're all tied up on Yugos and I lose. I lose. I lose either way because I had to block that. But now he's got 3 Yugos in a row. He's got an open square at either end at C1 and at C5. I can't block them both. So all I can do right now is cross my fingers and hope that I can find a space that I missed where I can make an IGO, where I can win the game instantly. And I can't. So I'm just going to have to, take my lumps. I'm going to play here. C1 is open and he wins. I'm just going to take my lumps, say GG to Puppers. That was a well played game. And you know what? You know what? I'm going to review this game. I'm going to review this game later on and find out where I went wrong because I had to block here. But I think probably when I played this double Yugo and it opened up all that space, I think I probably hurt myself. Let's see. Less than pi is not signed in, but I can play less than pi as a guest. So what I'm going to do, okay, so you know what? Less than pi says you can play again if you want. So, Puppers, if you want, I'm going to challenge you because we've got 1 game each. Okay. I won the first one. You won the second game. So I'm going to challenge you. And this one's for all the marbles. Okay. So if you want to accept that challenge, then I will play you a third game. I'm playing as black. Go ahead, Puppers. And this time, game on, my friend. Um, I've got to play better than I did last time. That's all I know. I've got to play better than I did last time because Puppers is no chump. He knows what he's doing, and I have got to be very, very careful. Very careful indeed. So remember, the pieces that you're looking at, these white pieces are called Migos. If you get 4 of those in a row, that is called a Yugo. If you get 4 Yugos in a row, you win instantly with an Igo. So a Migo, a Yugo, an Igo, and I am going to take that and say thank you very much. And I'm not messing around this time, puppers. I am taking this one seriously. I do not like to lose, and I'm going to see if I can beat you. But it's an interesting game. For those of you who are watching, I can see we've got 5 people watching. Welcome to Migoyugo. If you've never seen the game before, there's a good reason for that because I invented it, and this is only the second time anyone's ever seen it. We did a live stream yesterday, and we're doing a live stream today. So if you've never seen the game, that's because it is brand new. Where do I want to go here? I want to go here. If Buckers is going to make a Yugo, I can let him make it on F8. But yeah, I did not enjoy losing that last game. I got to tell you right now, that losing that game was not fun. Less than Pi says, hang around, new folks. The game is great. Thank you, puppers. I appreciate that. You know what? Listen, I've watched live streams before, and I apologize for saying this, but I'm going to do what YouTubers do. I'm going to say, hey guys, I'd really appreciate it if you would give me a thumbs up because that really helps the stream. YouTube's algorithm will know that you liked it and blah, blah, blah. So um, please give me a thumbs up. And if everyone does that all at once, I won't ask you anymore. Where am I going here? What am I doing? Um, I'm just going to go right here. I am just going to go here and see what Puppers is up to. What is Puppers up to? I don't know. Puppers is up to beating me. That's what Puppers is up to. I have to block here. I have no choice. And hmm. Okay, if I go there and then he goes there, that's going to open that up. Can't do that. I've got to take this. I think it's the right move. I think it's the right move, but I get the feeling that Puppers is going to play on D4, possibly, and put me in a bind. Yep, got to block. I got to block that, and now I cannot remove the piece on D6. I really don't like it when Puppers plays as fast as he plays because every time Puppers starts playing fast, it means one thing. It means that he's going to beat me. That's what it means. Oh, okay. I cannot, I cannot play, I cannot remove the Migo on D6. Hmm. So we're tied on Yugos, but I can tell you right now that Puppers has got a much better setup here. He's got 2 Yugos in the center of the board, powerful. He's got 3 Yugos in a line with one of my Migos in the middle blocking, very powerful. I've got to be super careful here. I am this setup is really bad for me. I can tell you right now. Um, I can tell you right now that if I had to bet on this game, I'd put my money on Puppers. Now, what happens if I go here? Is this going to hurt me? Do I want to go here? Do I want to go here? Yeah, I'm not in a good spot here. And Puppers knows it too. Puppers knows that he's got me and I am not in a good spot. Hmm. But you got to keep going. Yeah. Puppers knows it. This is where Puppers was um, Puppers was in this position in the first game where I had an advantage and I was not letting go of that advantage. And he knew all he had to, I knew all I had to do was block and block and block. Um, oh, yes, you're absolutely right, less than pi. He did. So I can't, but here's the thing, I can't play b6, but I can play f6. And now you can't play there because you've got four. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. I love this part of the game. Look, you would think it would be an instant win for white, but it isn't because there's a rule that says you can't play more than four of your own color in a row. He's got one, two, then a space, then three in a row. He can never play here because these Yugos aren't going anywhere. I can take advantage of this. I've just got to figure out how, but I can take advantage of this. But I can't play here myself because I've got three in a row and then a space and then a Yugo. I cannot play on b6, but I can play here and then I can get myself a Yugo. This is interesting. I'm going to have to go back and look at this game too. We might, you know what? I'm going to do some game review on my YouTube channel and post some of these games um, because you absolutely had the advantage, Puppers. And I'm not saying you're not ahead at this point, but I am saying you lost your big advantage. And I think we're very, very close right now. And I am going to play here on my next move. I am going to play here. You can't play there. This is very interesting. You've got five here that you couldn't do. You could go down there. Okay. Okay. That's cool. Less than pi. That's fine. Okay. So you can't play there. I'm just going to block this for now. You can't play there. What can I do with that? Hmm. You cannot play there. No, you can play there. What happened? What am I talking about? I don't know. I've lost the plot. Sorry, I just got all excited there for a bit. Oh my goodness. I got to be honest with you right now. My head, I can't keep up with what's going on. Do I want to block this? If I block this, you know what? I want to show you something interesting. If I don't block this, I want to show you something. Poppers can have a triple Yugo. He would have if he goes to e5, he'd have a line of four in this direction diagonally. He would have a line of four in this direction horizontally. He would have a line of four in this direction vertically. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for me or him, but I know he'd be way ahead in the Yugo count because he's got seven and I've got six. Do I want to let him do that? Yeah, I do want to let him do that. I do, absolutely. I want to let Puppers do that. That would give him a triple Yugo, but it would also win me the game. And it would win me the game because this Migo would disappear, and I have 3 Yugos in a row. If that Migo disappears, then I would just fill that in on E6 and I would win the game. Oh my goodness. Poppers. Poppers, my friend. I've got bad news for you. Take a look. He had one, two, three pieces in a row. Two of them were Migos. He said, oh no, he sees it already. He played up here, which created a Yugo, but watch what happened. Those two Migos disappeared. And that gives me the win. Oh, poppers. Good game, man. Oh my goodness. That was fun. That was such an interesting game. I am absolutely going to have to take that. So here's the thing. You can see the move history here. Okay. If I go to review, you can copy that. So puppers, if you want to take this and go into your move history, you can copy this. It says move history is copied to the clipboard, and you can paste that somewhere and you will have that. Now, what you can also do is you can go into your stats and you can go into that game, and that game is already recorded. But there's one more thing you can do. So I just copied this, right? So watch this. If I go to reset, I've got import move history. Now that I've saved that move history, if I go to import, if I paste it here, okay, and I import in review, watch what happens. That game now appears. So you can take someone else's game and or your old game and you can replay it like this and you can say, where did it all fall apart? Poppers, I'd feel bad for you, my friend, but I can't reach that far. I'm sorry, you had to lose that game, but you had to lose that game. So let's see. Less than pi. Okay, so less than pi has a new account. It is less than pi, P-I-E. Okay, less than pi, I am going to challenge you to a game. Do you accept the challenge? He does. So I'm playing as black. Less than pi is up on top. As I've mentioned to you before, you're always going to be at the bottom of the board. So less than pi, you're first. You're white, so you go ahead. I am going to wait. Okay, so less than pi has played G7. Let's play away from that. I'll tell you right now, the game is so new. There is no best. I don't think there is a best strategy right now. Um, if there is, I don't know what it is. It looks to me like less than pi is thinking of making a diagonal along here. I don't know. The game is so new. We haven't played enough games to understand. Is it better to start in the middle? Is it better to not? I don't know. And the fact is that we may not know for a long time until someone pulls out a big fat computer. Um, I don't know, but I'm very interested in knowing. And I think over time, if we get enough interest in this game, someone eventually is going to plug this into some supercomputer somewhere and say, okay, let's figure out basic strategy, like in chess or in other games that are what we call perfect information games, where it's not luck, there's no cards, there's no dice, there's no randomness. You know what's in front of you, your opponent can see the same, and it's just a matter of skill versus skill. Now, as you saw in the last game with puppers, there is some risk of making an error. But that's not, I wouldn't call that an aspect of luck. I would just say that's the way it goes sometimes. You you make a misclick, or lose your you lose your train of thought and you forget about that thing that you shouldn't have done. Or when I played in that second game with puppers, I realized I could make a double Yugo, and I did, but I didn't think far enough ahead to go, is that a good move for me? Is that an advantage for me? Is it an advantage for my opponent? I honestly, I didn't know. I think it turns out in the end that it probably was a disadvantage for me. But we shall see. Anyway, we've got a new game going. There are 5 of you watching. I'm going to say, please say hi in chat. If you're brand new, I would love to have you say hi, whoever you are, and join in. The more, the merrier. But I created this game because I was just goofing around and I thought, I want to invent a game. I actually invented a different game. That game is called Greedy. I may I may build that game into something more at some point or other. But I created a game called Greedy. And then I thought, you know what? I want to create a game that's like, if you go to the New York Times and you see games like Wordle, what an awesome game Wordle is, and Sudoku, awesome game. Like these are games that are, um, they're a game for one person, and they're great games. Lots of strategy, lots of thinking, um, and they're fun. They're easy to play. They take practically no time at all. So that's what I wanted to create. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it. I couldn't come up with that type of game. I couldn't create a Wordle. I couldn't create a Sudoku. I had some different ideas for different things. And eventually I just veered off and tried something different. And then I came up with something very different and then something else very different. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just going to go into review here. As you can see, um, Less Than Pi created a double Yugo. So this space was open, D4. You can see there's a line of 3 uh, pieces in white with a space in between. There's a line of 3 here. So he filled in that space. Now remember, you can't make a line of more than 4 in a row, but he didn't do that. He created 2 intersecting lines of exactly 4. And by doing that, by placing that piece here, 1, 2, 3, 4 Migos disappeared, and he got a double Yugo. And a double Yugo, it just has that oval shape instead of a circle. So I'm going to block here. Oh, I got to get out of exit. Pardon me. If you're in exit, you can't do anything. So you got to get out of exit. And anyway, so I was playing, not playing, I was trying different things. And at some point, I don't know what on earth I was doing, but I came up with this idea, which is the idea that you see here of if you get if you do something, in this case creating 4 in a row, but originally it wasn't that, but if you do something, something else happens. And that something else was, if you create a Yugo, then the Migos disappear. That was the game mechanic. That it wasn't exactly what you see here. There was a lot. I've worked on this for about 9 or 10 months. I worked on this before this live stream. I've this has been a work in progress for quite some time. Um, but that was basically the idea. And after I came up with that concept of if I do this, that thing happens and it opens up space on the board. So in this case, specifically, if you create a Yugo, the Migos disappear and it opens up space, then that was okay. So he's got one, two, three pieces, and then a space, and then a fifth piece here, or a fourth piece here, he cannot play here. Okay. I know that less than pi cannot play there. So I'm going to see if I can take advantage of that by blocking there and maybe building something here at some point. Now he can play down here if he wants, but I would strongly suggest that he doesn't play on F1 because if he plays on F1, these two Migos are going to disappear and I'm just going to make an I go along there. So he could play here. And what would happen if he did? I would take that. Um, okay, I'm going to do that again. And I know that I can take this spot. I know that I can play a piece here because he can't, because that would create a line of more than four. No permiso. Um, but I've got to keep an eye on what's going on. Okay, so he just created. Let me go to review and let's go back. So he had one, two, three Migos in a row diagonally. He played here that created a Yugo on C7, which deleted these three Migos. And that's where we are. Did that open anything up for me? Anything of value? I'm going to say yes, because now I can play here, which is going to create a Yugo here. That means I'm going to have two in a row this way, two in a row that way. And more importantly, it's going to give me another central Yugo. And even more importantly, I'm going to have a Yugo between his two Yugos. That's, to me, really valuable because now I am blocking his ability to make a line with these Yugos. Okay. Now it does open this section up. He can create a Yugo here, in which case I got a block, six of one, half a dozen of the other, maybe. But um, we shall see. We both used about half of our time. I'm curious to see where he's going to go. Okay, he's playing there. Now, why is he playing there? Understand the mind of your opponent. Okay, I do not want to play here because if I create a Yugo here, then I know I'm going to end up with these, and I can't do anything with those at a later time. So I am going to block. Now this is an interesting move. If if less than pi does not play on G5, he will lose the game. If he does not play on G5, he will lose this game. Does he know that? I don't know. Is he listening? I don't know. But if he doesn't play on G5, he will lose the game. I think he probably heard me by now. Unless there's a win that I can't see, but he has to play G5 or he loses. Maybe he hears me and he doesn't believe me. Maybe he thinks I'm trying to suck him in. I don't know. Okay, so he played G5. He had to, because if he hadn't, I would have played G5, which would have made a line of one, two, three Yugos. Remember, this Migo would disappear and I would win because I would have three Yugos in a row with an open ender. So I could play here. I could play here, which would create a Yugo on C5. It's going to open this up, in which case, oh, you did have to. You did have to. Um, in which case, if he goes there, okay, there we go. So he has to play here and he's going to lose. He has to block on D5. And in blocking on D5, he's going to create a Yugo. These two Migos are going to disappear, which is going to open up D3, which results in a win for the Nightfly. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. What happened to my camera? Is my camera gone? Um, I think my camera is dead. Yeah, it probably is. Um, okay. Well, that's okay. You probably didn't really need to see me. Okay, accept a rematch. Yes, I'm playing as white. Okay, let's play here. Okay, my camera died, but that's okay because that just means you can't see me. Hopefully, you can hear me. Okay, let's go here. Can you still hear me? My camera died. Or my camera dies. Let's remove it. Ah, my camera died. Okay, you can hear me. Maybe I'll just put a picture of a good-looking guy up on the screen and pretend it's me. Okay, we have three watching. Who do we have? Nobody new there. Okay. Less than pi is black. I am white. And I don't know what is going on with my camera, but it's not the end of the world. It is certainly not the end of the world. Okay, he's blocking me down there. And let's go here. For anyone who's watching, you can't see me. I was here, but my camera died. I'm the Nightfly, and this game is called Migoyugo. And right now I am playing against Less Than Pi. And we just played a game. He beat me. Oh, sorry, I beat him. So who wants e4? What happens if someone takes e4? Am I going to take e4 if he takes e4? I don't know. I'm going to go here. You can have e4, Less Than Pi. No, you can't. I'm taking it. So it looks to me like you've got this strategy here of building a perimeter wall around my pieces. I don't know if that's a good strategy, but it's a strategy. Let's see if that leads to a win. Huh. Let's go here. Let's go here. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know what? I'm going to build another one up there and I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to start building Yugos everywhere. Everywhere I possibly can build a Yugo, I will do so. There will be no stopping me from building Yugos. That was a bad move. I immediately realized that was a bad move. And if I could take it back, I would. But I can't. So let's go um, here. Yeah, that was a really bad move that I played. Um, I recognized it immediately. and that was just that was just not good. But these things happen. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know what? After this game, I'm going to call it a day. We've been at this for about an hour and a quarter now, and my camera died. I guess that's possibly a sign. So this will be the last game of this live stream. So less than pi, good luck to you. Good luck to you, my friend. Now, if less than pi does not play on b6, he will lose. Just thought I'd let you know. And he played on b6. Doesn't mean he's going to win, but it does mean he did not lose instantly. Where am I going? What am I doing? I'm kind of losing track. Oh, I played a double Yugo. That is bad. I just lost the game. Darn it. I just lost the game. If he plays c7, I lose. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I've got to show you this. I've got to show you this right now. Look at this. I played down here. I did not pay attention and realize that was going to create a double Yugo. Watch what happens. I created a double Yugo. Oh, no, no. He had to block. He had to block. And in blocking, he opened that up. Oh my goodness. What a game. What a game. I didn't even realize that. I did have it either way. You're right. Well, listen, guys. Less than pie and puppers. Thank you very much. I am going to call it a day. Um, I'm probably going to schedule these regularly at 6 p.m. Pacific time because I work and I'm off in the evening and I don't want to be too late for anyone on the East. So I'm going to call this one a day. Thank you very much, both of you. And feel free to share this with anybody. And maybe next time we'll get a few more people to join in. But thank you very much. And I do appreciate you coming. I appreciate the games. And hopefully we'll see you at the next one. I think I'm going to put it on the YouTube channel. I'm going to say live streams at 6 p.m. on weekdays, Monday to Friday, and maybe 3 p.m. on weekends. So either way, we'll see what happens. But thank you very much. And you guys